this topic. I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you're smashing that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And before we dive into today's show, people, make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description, guys. Use code BLUEBROTHER to get 20% off your Chelsea kits and free shipping. You can get names, numbers, sleeve patches, whatever you want. Good quality, affordable prices. Blue Brother, 20% off, guys. Link is in the description. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing one of Chelsea's latest signings, and that's 20-year-old midfielder Dario Essugo, signed from Sporting Lisbon. He'll be linking up this summer with the squad. Could make his debut in the Club World Cup. Obviously, not a lot of people know too much about him, so who better to get on for the lowdown than Antonio, bro? Great to catch up as always. Thank you for your time. Asugu, there were links back end of the January window late on when Chelsea were making inquiries about Nico O'Reilly. Then there was potential reports coming out of Portugal that Chelsea were close on Asugu. It didn't quite happen. Ended up signing Matisse Mugu. Now the Asugu deal has gone through, and as things stand, he's set to be part of the first team squad next season. Obviously, things can change between now and then. 20 years of age, on loan at Las Palmas now in La Liga. He's doing reasonably well there. From what I've watched, and what I've read and stuff about him, he's kind of viewed as an alternative for Moises Caicedo, a player in the Caicedo mold. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Absolutely. There's a lot of similarities between the two. They're robust, strong, they've got a nice physical stature. Asugo's not the tallest, actually. He only stands at 5'8", but his presence is definitely felt on the pitch, just like Caicedo.
I mean, in terms of a price, I mean, £18.5 million, no add-ons at all, 20 years of age. A lot of people are saying that's a pretty good price. I mean, I have to say, given the market today, the prices, how much younger players are going for, are you surprised that, I think his contract was up in 26 or 27, so there's maybe only 12 or 24 months left on it, which maybe played a little bit of a part. But are you surprised that A, no one else was seemingly in for him, and B, he's gone for seemingly such little money?
Very, very surprised. And like you say, I know his contract was up, but I thought even with that, Sporting would have held out for at least 25 to 30 million, because he's got that potential, he's got that ability. And when you watch him play, there's something about him that you know he's going to improve teams. And that's one of his best qualities, because he provides defensive security and he's good in possession. So he's got that quality to mix between the two. So I'm very surprised he went for an 80 million fee, but credit to Chelsea, because that's good negotiation from Chelsea.
I mean, we've got a lot of midfield players. Some of them are going to go. I mean, I would imagine that this Asugu signing is certainly the end of Dewsbury Hall. It would be probably likely to mean that the end of Leslie Ugochukwu. I'd imagine that next season Chelsea will go in with 5 midfield options, given that Romeo Lavia can't be relied upon to stay fit. So I'd imagine you go in with Andre Santos, Lavia, Fernandes, Caicedo, and Asugu. I mean, you touched on him being similar to Caicedo. We need an alternative to Caicedo. There isn't really one of those in the squad that can perform the role that he does. Obviously, I'm not saying Asugu can do it as well as him, but he is in that mold and that profile which is lacking within the squad right now. He's on loan in La Liga at the moment. I think he's doing okay. I've noticed he's got a couple of red cards this season.
I'm going to touch on that.
But yeah, you touched on a few of his strong points. What would you say are his standout attributes?
Yeah, he's an aggressive midfielder, just like Caicedo. I think I'm going to say this, I actually think this might not be your best signing, but it might be your most important signing, because I think Caicedo is so crucial to what Chelsea do, out of possession mainly, that if he was to get injured, you needed a suitable replacement. And that's exactly what Asugu brings. He's a jumper in possessions, out of possession, sorry. So, as you know, Maresca likes to defend with 5 and attack with 5 in simplistic terms. So you need those counter presses in midfield as a double pivot. And having 2 of those is exactly what Chelsea need, and that's what Asugu brings. He's got that dual win ability. He's got that athleticism. He's he's deceivingly quick off the mark, very explosive. He's powerful, and he doesn't mind a bit of bite getting involved in. And he loves to duel pretty much. Sometimes he does get it wrong, and his angle of tackling is probably why he's picked up a lot of bookings and a few red cards. So that's an area of improvement. But the profile and determination and ability to break up play and anticipate play is absolutely quality.
I mean, he's not the most experienced at this point in time. I mean, I think he made a handful of appearances for Sporting Lisbon. I mean, he's on loan at Las Palmas now. I think he's made less than 20 appearances for them. It's a big step up. Look, the reports are saying he's going to go into the first team squad. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Only time will tell. I sort of feel that maybe he could benefit from another season on loan somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know if they'd send him to Strasbourg or not. Probably not, because I think Asugu is going to be sent there. I'm not saying that they can't both go there. Do you think he's ready, or do you think he could actually benefit from another loan spell as well?
To be honest, I would actually keep him in the side, and I'll tell you why. Because he gives that security for Caicedo. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as Caicedo, but in those games where Caicedo is looking a bit leggy, because that happens in football, or he does need a rest, you can bring in a Asugu, because your squad dynamics there's a lot of different combinations to be made. And he can absolutely fill in that Caicedo role. Now, he's not ready to be relied on, but acting as an understudy to Caicedo could actually benefit more than going out on loan, because he would be able to understand the system a lot better and understand the role Caicedo plays in Chelsea's team, rather than going out on loan, playing a different style, and then come back to Chelsea. Because there's a lot of he's had to adapt his style going at Las Palmas to what he did at Sporting. At Sporting, it was more about keeping possession. You had to nip into pockets of space, receive the ball, and recycle possession. Whereas Las Palmas don't play that way. They're one of the most direct teams in Spain, so they miss out the middleman. So for him, it's a lot more, can I play the ball into space? So if he is to go out on loan, it's got to be to a team that plays a similar style to Chelsea. Otherwise, it's pointless, in my opinion, because he's at that stage where he needs to start learning his role rather than building his ability. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think there'd be opportunities for him at Chelsea. I mean, obviously, he'll be competing, or he'll be an understudy as such to Caicedo. I think the plan is for Santos and Lavia to be competing for the other spot, and then Kendry Páez is viewed as a potential alternative to Enzo Fernandez. I think Páez will probably go on loan. But when you look at those young midfielders, kind of 21 years and under, Lavia, Santos, and Asugu, I mean, that's pretty much, would you say that's kind of three of the best or three of the most exciting talents sort of under the age of 21, like 21 and under in terms of midfielders?
Absolutely. I think the depth and potential in those midfielders is incredibly exciting. Now, I understand, like I said last time, Chelsea want the here and now sort of. They want a bit more experience. But the future of Chelsea Football Club is incredibly exciting, because Asugu, when he was coming through the Sporting ranks, was turning heads. Everybody was saying he's going to be the next big thing. Yes, he might not get the numbers that you would expect, and he might not get put on the pedestal as other players, because he doesn't score very much, he doesn't assist very much. But what he does in the build-up play, it cannot be questioned, and what he brings defensively in defensive transition moments is so important in this day in football. So that's why I think he's got a high ceiling, because he's got an important role to play in any football team.
I mean, also, he's played in Portugal, played in Spain. The Premier League is a totally different style of football, a lot more physical. You touched on him being an aggressive midfielder, physicality. So you would imagine that he would adapt quite well to the Premier League. Obviously, not going to adapt straight away. It will take a bit of time, but you could imagine, in time, that he'd be a player whose skill set is well suited to being a good Premier League player.
Absolutely, because he's got the physicality, he's got the profile. Now it's just about understanding the game a bit more, just a little few refinements. What he brings different to Caicedo, in my opinion, is his ability to drive with the ball. He's so happy over I would say the first 5 to 10 meters, his ability just to eliminate players out the game just by powerfully driving past them is exceptional. And I think you need players like that just to get you in a different element of the game in the Premier League. And I think he can bring that. Now, what he does need to improve on, I've spoke about a lot about his strengths. What he does need to improve on is understanding when to tackle, because sometimes he'll tackle it every opportunity, even when the angle's not quite right. And that's why he gives up needless free kicks and picks up needless yellow cards and red cards. Just needs to understand to like be a little bit more composed in his dueling. Sometimes it's good to be overly aggressive, but sometimes you just need to stand your ground a bit more.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think this is what you expect from young players. You know, there's going to be a bit of a lack of discipline, maybe a bit of a lack of maturity, perhaps a slight lack of understanding that will come with playing more, will come with age. And so, yeah, I mean, look, I'm quite excited by this signing. He's not going to be a first team player straight away. It's going to give us an alternative option to Caicedo, which, you know, we've been crying out for. Means we don't have to run him into the ground week in, week out. So that can only be a positive. I mean, last question, mate. I mean, I know it's obviously difficult to tell. He's a little bit older than the likes of Quendas and Estebaos and stuff. He's 20. How good potentially could he be? Because we've seen likes of Caicedo come over at a young age and establish himself very well. Carlos Baleba, another one who's doing very well. How good do you think Asugu could potentially be?
I think he's got the potential and the profile to be just as good as a Caicedo and Baleba. He's that type of player. He's comfortable in tight areas. He's happy receiving at any angle of the pitch. He's got the vision from deep and he's combative out of possession. So he's got many different elements and qualities to his game just to put him on that pedestal. And I generally believe that he's, I'm not saying just as good at the moment, but potentially just as good as a Moises Caicedo.
I mean, that's pretty exciting. Obviously, you know, we got a little while to wait until we get there. But look, I think this is I say exciting sign. I think this is an important signing. And you know, there's very few players really out there with that Caicedo type profile. So to have one in Asugu who hasn't cost us an awful lot of money, we can ease him in with minutes here and there. Gives us an opportunity to alternate Caicedo out of games when we need to, and that can only be a good thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in action, hopefully this summer at the Club World Cup, and then we'll wait and see what happens from there. But yeah, bro, thank you so much for your time. Fascinating insight as always. Let people know where to find you.
Yeah, so I've got a YouTube channel, and again, I've got a scout report on Dario Essugo. So if you want to go and check it out, just type in Antonio Mango, hit that subscribe button, and you can also check us out on Twitter, where I pretty much talk about young talents in Chelsea all day. So just search Antonio Mango 4 and hit that follow button. Appreciate
guys,
that.
I'll tag the channel in the title. Make sure you click on it, subscribe, show Antonio some love. Loads of great content over there, so please do that. And yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Smash the like, subscribe to myself, and I'll catch you again in another one soon.